Hey, what's up? So, I figured we'd take a look at Nightcrawler. I promise you I would do a rundown on his skills, so let's do it. Let's get to it. Nightcrawler, the original Bamf. So, here we are in the test center, and moved on into the shield training room, and as I normally do, I have put 1 point into every skill. Before we get to that, though, let's go over Nightcrawler's synergies. Nightcrawler's synergy is somewhere in this list. Here we go. Alright, so at rank 20, at level 25, you will unlock his first synergy, which is plus 2% melee power damage, and his final synergy at level 50 is, again, plus 2% melee power damage. So, in total, 4% melee power damage. And his uniques, let's go over those before we get to the skills as well. Now let's go over those afterwards, because that'll put them in context. You'll see what the skills are and then what the uniques do. So, he's got 3 trees here: Cunning Acrobat, Rapid Teleporter, and Expert Swordsman. In the first skill in the Cunning Acrobat tree is Move Speed, Dodge, and Evade. It gives you a percent chance to evade damage from attack. Incredible Acrobatics. Your acrobatic training and conditioning in the Munich Circus makes it easy to dodge attacks and move quickly. Very good skill to pump. Gonna be one of your main skills for survivability if you're building a survivable build, either tank or really if you're going melee, which all of his skills are, then you're gonna need this. Next one is Shadow Meld, and this one's all about really just blending into the shadows and taking advantage of not being seen. Shadow Meld is going to be the core of that. A lot of his other skills are going to build off of this skill. Shadow Meld. It's a stealth power. Misdirects enemies by concealing yourself in nearby shadows. While concealed, you slowly recover from wounds. Using a power while concealed this way will reveal you. You regenerate 140 health per second while you're stealthed. The stealth duration is 5 seconds. The cooldown is only 3, meaning you can permanently stay stealthed if you so please. The spirit cost is a mere 15. This is his basic attack for the Cunning Acrobat tree. Why is Saber Swipe go away? Alright, Sneak Attack. It's a melee basic fighting. With uncanny swiftness, you lay into enemies with hand-to-hand strikes. This attack style is more effective after concealing yourself. Again, going back to the Shadow Meld skill. You've got your physical damage, and the base damage of the skill increases 50% for 10 seconds when you are using a stealth power. So use Shadow Meld and your base damage of this skill will increase. The first hit after actually it's the base damage for 10 seconds. So it's not just the first hit. That's awesome. Dive Bomb is another skill that's going to scale greatly off of going into stealth and then using this. Utterly devastate and confuse enemies by teleporting a backflip hammer kick into their ranks. This technique is more deadly when used from concealment. Huge base damage on the skill already, and 100% base damage when used while stealthed. Go into Shadow Meld, pop out of it with Dive Bomb. Good stuff. Next skill in the tree is your basic run-of-the-mill Crowd Control Breaker. Teleport ability, again, teleport in place, free yourself of negative status effects, and becoming, I imagine that's supposed to be and become immune to them for a short time. Like I said, your basic run-of-the-mill Crowd Control Breaker. And Obscuring Brimstone. Teleport rapidly in place, creating a lingering cloud that increases you and your allies' ability to evade attacks. While in the cloud, you are concealed from enemies, and your attacks will not reveal you. The dodge rating increases for your entire party while they are inside of this. The area duration is only 5 seconds, and the cooldown is 30, though. So it's sort of a, what do you call it? A defense boost for a very short period of time. The dodge rating goes up as you put points into it, but the duration does not. Alright, so let's pull the bar. Let's see how they look. Shadow Meld, we're going to put you right here. Sneak Attack, you'll go right there. Dive Bomb, Acrobatic, Escape, and Obscuring Brimstone. So let's move Sneak Attack. Pretty cool animation. And then Shadow Meld. Alright, and then of course there is the damage boost to Sneak Attack while after using a stealth power, Shadow Meld. You can see the damage is a lot higher than it was just a moment ago. And eventually after the 10 seconds wears off it should. Yeah, there's the normal damage. After going into stealth, the numbers are quite a bit higher. And Dive Bomb. Here it is without stealth. Without being in stealth. Boom. And go into stealth. And it hits a hell of a lot harder. Looks like I missed the stealth that time. Let's try again. Alright, there it is. Stealth. And boom. Again, there it is without stealth, only 16k. With stealth, 22. And Acrobatic Escape. Teleport in place, freeing yourself of negative status effects, becoming immune. Yep, break it. Yeah, crowd control breaker. Got it. There it is. And Obscuring Brimstone. Let's make everything cloudy. And it looks like Obscuring Brimstone will put him into stealth. Yep, it puts him into stealth. Does that mean that he will stay stealth, or is it just a one-time stealth? Let's try that out. And 2 seconds, it's up again. Go. Alright, so there, I'm stealth. I'm coming out of it. There's the huge numbers. And yes, he does stay stealthed while, during the duration of Obscuring Brimstone, he will stay stealthed the entire time. Obscuring Brimstone is a continuous stealth for that 5 seconds. That's pretty cool. Up, there it is. He hits and stays in stealth. Obscuring Brimstone. Very nice. The next tree is Rapid Teleporter, and it's by far my favorite. Let's pull the stuff onto the bar. Yeah, that's already there. Now it's passive. And there we go. Alright, so let's go over them. Agile Strike. With incredible grace and precision, strike out at enemies in front of you, employing brief teleports to maintain momentum. You'll do physical damage and restore spirit whenever you strike an enemy. The attack speed is a little bit slower than Sneak Attack, and the damage just a little bit higher. So the raw DPS may come out to be the same. I imagine that 50% base damage after using stealth power, though, will change. That Sneak Attack might be the basic. It might be one of his strongest basics. I don't know. He's got 3 basics. Then of course we've got your basic run-of-the-mill teleport. Doom, doom, doom. Blink strike. Teleport between multiple enemies, striking them as you pass. This oh, this one's fun. We'll see that in a minute. Brimstone beatdown. Teleport repeatedly around your target, striking them from unexpected directions. Deals physical damage, has a huge attack speed, and this is going to be your boss killer. It's going to deal 40% extra bonus damage, extra base damage to bosses, elites, and champions. Infernal Brimstone is going to apply vulnerability and a lingering cloud. Create a lingering cloud of heated brimstone, harmful to enemies inside it. This will deal 2381 twice per second. Area duration of 5 seconds. The duration does not increase with points put in the skill. Then we've got Flash Grab. Oh, this one's fun too. Teleport to targeted location to strike any enemies there and simultaneously teleport back with them in tow. This one's going to require a little bit more in-depth showcasing. I will record an extra video of just this skill and get that. Probably it's may have already shown up in an annotation if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on Twitch, then I will have a link in the description. This one's great. Unfortunately, none of the mobs in the area that I'm in right now are actually able to move. The test dummies, we can't move them around. Then we've got One Step Ahead, passive teleport. Your ability to teleport to the best position possible gives you an edge in virtually any combat situation. You will gain, whenever you use a teleport power, which a lot of these powers here are all tagged as teleport powers, you will gain damage and defense rating, scaling very nicely as you put points into skill. Then, of course, we've got his signature, Righteous Frenzy, movement teleport area. Teleport to target a location, dealing damage to enemies nearby. You can reactivate this power multiple times before it goes on cooldown. It's got a base of physical damage of huge, and gives you damage rating increase, attack speed increase for 3 seconds. Can be activated up to 5 times within 15 seconds, and the cooldown is 40 seconds. This to me says you want to use this once you activate it the first time. You want to use it every 3 seconds to keep that damage rating and attack speed bonus up. Now, thankfully, that can be activated 5 times within 15 seconds. Hey, what's 5 times 3? Guess what? It's 15. So if you time this perfectly, then you will be able to take full advantage of Righteous Frenzy. However, that timing it perfectly is key. So let's show off some of these skills and then move on to the Expert Swordsman tree. Again, we've got the, let's start with Agile Strike. Agile Strike is the basic, restoring spirit, and pretty cool animation to go along with it. Then we've got Blink Strike. Like I said, this ability's fun. Alright, let's just show this off. It's gonna bounce 5 times and do damage to each target hit. It's a lot like, if anyone's played Path of Exile, it's a lot like Flicker Strike, which is of course a skill from that. You blink around the room, hitting every target in sight, and moving your character while you do it. Very, very fun. Next we've got Brimstone Beatdown, some base damage, attack speed, and yep. And there it is. Now, the one thing about Brimstone Beatdown is I think the damage needs increase, because right now it's not that much more damage than the basic attack right here. It's supposed to be your boss-killing spirit spit. And I'll be honest, I'm not impressed. The damage is not amazing. But next thing we've got is Infernal Brimstone. It, of course, is your dot and your vulnerability. Here we go. Boom. You want to keep this up pretty much always, because look at that damage. It, of course, does not stack. Each target can only be affected by it once per application. Stacking them on top of each other does nothing extra, other than apparently mess with your visuals. And then, of course, Flash Grab. Unfortunately, I can't show off the most effective part of this skill, but let's see what the animation is like anyway. And if I'm using it over there, these things would normally be brought to me, but and then there's the signature Righteous Frenzy. Of course, giving you that increased damage rating and attack speed. It's good stuff. Now, on to the Expert Swordsman tree. A lot of you are probably waiting for this. Here we go. You want to use swords, you say? You like swords? Here you go, have some swords. He's only got 3 active abilities in this tree. The other 2 are, or the other 3, one's a passive and other 2 are auras. But let's show what those do. The first skill in the tree is Saber Swipe. Sweep your sabers in crossing arcs, cutting through swaths of enemies, dealing physical damage and knocking down the targets. Pretty fast attack speed too. Swashbuckler's Slash. This is your basic ability. Slash with your razor sharp swords, striking where the defenses are weakest. This is going to have an increased critical damage rating for this power. Advancing Guard. You're going to have to pick one of these 2. Advancing Guard is assume an aggressive fighting stance, lunging headlong at your enemies with fists and steel. Cannot be used with another stance. It's going to give you damage rating, defense, and move speed. Scaling fairly well on with points put in the skill. Then you've got Flying Saber. Throw your sword and teleport to catch it after it slashes through all enemies in its path. Sounds pretty cool. Master Swordsman is your passive for this tree. Your sharpened blades cause bleeding injuries on your foes and can deliver fatal blows with ease. So every sword attack you use will deal physical damage twice per second for 4 seconds. Critical damage will be increased for sword powers as well. And then we've got the other stance in the tree, Heartseeker's Guard. Coil into a deadly fighting stance, watching enemies for weakness, deftly dodging incoming attacks, and efficiently laying low enemies with a few well-placed blows. Cannot be used with another stance. Again, these are mutually exclusive. You can only use one of these stances. It will give you crit rate, dodge rate, and restore 1 spirit per second. Note here, although the tooltip does not accurately state it, the last time I tried it at least, the spirit was restored only when not using spirit spending powers. As with most other spirit restore aspects of the game, so I imagine that needs to be added to this tooltip, but remember, this is early beta footage. I think it's still there's still a whole week until Nightcrawler's actually released. So next thing we've got is Death Blow. Deliver a decisive blow, laying low any enemy, especially if they are in a weakened state. Dealing physical damage and also having an execute mechanic on it. 1% increased base damage per 1% of target's missing health. The lower they are on HP, the more damage this will do. Alright, so let's see what his skills actually look like. Here's his Swashbuckler Slash. Very nice. And then, of course, you can see here the basic attack, but also the bleed is being applied. You can see that 1459. So this is a very nice basic attack because each time you basic, you are applying that bleed, which is at least half, if not more, than an auto attack each time it applies that bleed. So that may be one of his strongest basics, really. Then we've got Saber Swipe. Let's show that off. Very nice. Alright, and next we've got Flying Saber. Throw your sword and teleport. And we've used quite a bit of Spirit. It's about time to see about that one, but before we get to that, let's use Death Blow with the execute mechanic on it. And it's got a cooldown, but it does tons of damage. And now we've got his auras, the first of which is Advancing Guard. His auras are stances. Stances is the better term. Advancing Guard. Alright, so he's running around in Advancing Guard. There it is again. Of course, increasing the damage rating of all attacks done while that is on, also increasing your defense. And then we've got Heartseeker Guard. Let's examine this Spirit Restore just to make sure, see if it has changed. Nope.
Another one for
and it
me.
looks like the Spirit Restore is only active when not using Spirit Spending powers. So it's going to be great if you're using your basic, getting your spirit back, but it will not allow you to infinitely spam your skills, regardless of what the tooltip tells you. Alright, so that's all of Nightcrawler's raw skills. Here is his ult. I'm sure you've been waiting for this. It's very nice looking. Here we go. Yes. Yes, yes, and more yes. So what exactly was going on? Fly into a dizzying blur of attacks and teleportation, leaving no enemies standing. You deal a physical damage with a fairly nice base damage of a fairly nice base level of attack, and you deal 50 hits. You are also invulnerable during this time. So 10 seconds of invulnerability while dealing physical damage to everything in an area. The cooldown, of course, is 10 minutes, as with most ults. So that's his skills. We went over his synergies at the beginning. Let's take a look at his uniques. Let's take a look at his uniques. Oh, no, that's not a unique. Get down there. Alright, so the first unique, his slot 1, is Excalibur Sabers, and it's going to help him with his Swordsman tree. You gain, raw damage rating, has attack speed, critical rating, 11% chance when you hit with a sword power to make enemies take 10% extra damage for 5 seconds. Or you could otherwise read this as apply vulnerability. So if you use this and you're going swords, you don't need Infernal Brimstone. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they would not stack. You would not be able to get 20% increased damage. I could be wrong though. And then of course you've got regenerate 352 health when you defeat an enemy, and +6 to all of Nightcrawler's expert swordsman powers, and then plus rank to Swashbuckler Slash as well. His next unique is a White Cloak of Paradise, giving you a little bit of extra energy defense and then a ton of raw defense. Health regen, dodge rating. When you stealth, you gain 441 damage rating, 1600 defense, and tenacity for 10 seconds with a 30-second cooldown. That again is going to play into his Shadow Meld skill and his Obscuring Brimstone, giving him increased damage when you stealth. Then of course you've got some plus to your Cunning Acrobat and Acrobatic Escape and Incredible Acrobatics. The next unique is Black Gloves of Priesthood with raw defense, increased damage to physical attacks, some attack speed, some spirit, some power duration, and here we go, doubling up on the damage negation effects from Incredible Acrobatics. We've got 4% chance to ignore damage when attacked. Throw in some health and a +1 all ranks, and you've got a pretty nice unique there. Next we've got Fairy Tale Swashbuckler Boots. Some defense, some spirit, move speed, dodge rating, 12% special item find. You will gain spirit when you hit, and then you've got this effect is real nice. 51% chance when you dodge to become frenzied, gaining 5% attack speed for 6 seconds. This effect stacks up to 4 times. Wow. Yes, please. 20% attack speed? Yes, please. Throw in some health and current rank to rapid teleporter powers, a very nice unique again. And then the Great White Shark, because every Nightcrawler needs to just equip a Great White Shark. Sure, why not? Damage rating, critical damage rating, brutal strike damage rating, some rare find, and 5% chance when you hit to cause your target to bleed for 1200 physical damage over 3 seconds. Again, throw in some health and some +1 to all powers, and a pretty nice unique. Health, and more health on his uniques. At least these 3. And that one. No health on this one. But that is Nightcrawler. All of his uniques, his synergies. I hope I haven't missed anything. That's all his skills. And of course, I will get some actual gameplay, a gameplay video somewhere set up here soon. In the there may be an annotation if you're watching on YouTube, or it may be in a link or something. Anyway, Nightcrawler, pretty badass. I can't wait to play him when he goes live. I will see you all later. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. Peace.